Hello and welcome to the Graceful Growth Podcast, a show where I dive into this never-ending journey of growth that we're all on in this life. Here, I welcome transparency and vulnerability, along with some laughs and some love, in an effort to create a safe space to learn and grow from one another. Whether you're a new or returning listener, I am so grateful that you decided to spend some time with me. I am your host, Brianna Bonner. Now let's get to the growth. Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the Graceful Growth Podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Bonner, and I'm just so happy to be here. So happy. I say here like I'm not just sitting in my office or something. But anyway, I hope that you guys all had like a good holiday season, as good as it could be. My holiday season, that'll be a podcast for another day. But anyway, today's episode, I wanted to talk about the New Year's resolutions. I feel like everybody does that, but a trend that I saw that I also participated in was ins and outs, which I love because I feel like New Year's resolutions have a tendency to be like, I have to stick with this for like this amount of time, and like they have that stat about like how most people like within the first week have already like given up on their New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted to participate in the ins and outs. I feel like there's less pressure. And then for me anyway, a lot of my ins and outs were things that I was already doing before the new year. And I am just like kind of making a vow to myself to keep it up. So anyway, first I'm going to start with my outs, because I think they're not funny, but yeah, I have things to say with outs. So anyway, first up on my outs list is fast food. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to do a episode on budgeting, and just like what works for me and everything, just to talk about it. But anyway, I say that to say the amount of money that I spent on fast food in 2023 is astronomical and not in a good way. Like not in a good way at all. Like, and the saddest part is, how like you have a taste for something and then you get it and it does not taste as good as you wanted it to. Like, I feel like the entire year, that's how I felt about fast food. It was just like, yeah, I really have a taste for this, like Whataburger or McDonald's. Please don't judge me. The fries are amazing. But yeah, just even like Chipotle or Mod Pizza, which, Mod, I really like Mod because I'm not sure if I've discussed this before, but I do have a dairy allergy, and Mod actually has, in my opinion, and the opinion of some other people who actually can eat cheese, Mod has decent dairy-free cheese for the pizza. I still think that it tastes like super, super fattening. So I don't like a whole lot of it on there, but it is nice to have a pizza that has cheese on it. But anyway, like none of it was hitting the same, or I feel like I had a lot of messed up orders too. Like a lot of messed up orders. Like I think I ordered one time from Burger King, and like to me, it didn't cross my mind that I needed to say no mayo, because I didn't know that mayo was just like a classic thing that people put on burgers. Freaking disgusting. And I bit into the burger and it was mayonnaise on it, and I almost puked. Like it. And like to get mayo off, like, yes, I did scrape the mayo off the burger because I just can't. It's like it's still there. So fast food is out for me. I think I'm just done with that. It doesn't make me feel good. And I don't think I'll be done with it forever, because I'm sure that there will be a time where I'm like, you know what, some Whataburger would really hit right now, but not at the frequency that I was having it before. It was ridiculous. Kind of goes hand in hand with this, but the food delivery, that has to be out. The amount of money that I spent on food delivery, astronomical, and not in a good way. Like, and then this is coupled with, like, I was getting food deliveries of fast food. No. Like, if you're going to get food delivery, like, you at least get something good. But the thing is, it doesn't hit the same when it's delivered, because it's been sitting in somebody's car on its way to you. Like, it's just not the same. So, I made a vow to myself, like, if I'm going to eat like that, I need to go eat. Like, I need to go like sit down and actually enjoy the meal hot and fresh when it's coming to me, not getting it fast and not getting it delivered. Like, what the heck? So yes, those are the two outs that kind of go together. And just Honestly, one for my health and two for the health of my bank account. Because, if y'all, so Mint is no longer in use. I don't know if anybody uses Mint, but it was like bought by Credit Karma or something. And it's not the same on the Credit Karma app. It's just not. So I don't use it anymore, but it does break down your categories of spending. Y'all, I'm talking like over $500 or so on fast food and fast food delivery a month. I encourage you to go look at how much you spend because, ooh, so bad. Anyway, not taking breaks / rest. That's out. The whole, grind, push. As it is said in the Bible, even God rested on the seventh day. Who am I to not take rest? Like, are you kidding? Yeah. When I did finally come back after my little hiatus or whatever, I guess I kind of took a hiatus before this too. But when I did finally come back, from not taking rest and just being like go go go, like that cannot happen again. Like the level of shambles that I was in that moment can't happen again. Cannot happen again. It's not healthy. It's like it's a very weird feeling to be like in a bad place and you did it to yourself. Like I don't know how else to explain that, of just like because I feel like when it's something you've done yourself, it's almost more disappointing because it's like you caused this and you actually could have prevented it. Like it didn't have to come to this. Like this was completely in your control to be like, hey, I actually need a break. That's kind of like, I don't even want to say frustrating or like disappointing to myself, but it's just like, man, like, when you have like a regret and it's just like, ugh, like I didn't have to make that decision. Like I actually had an opportunity not to make the decision. Like this was nobody's fault but mine. That's a tough place to be in. I don't ever want to be in that place again in terms of that. Like I'm taking rest. Like if I feel an inkling of like, I should probably take a step back, I'm doing it. Alcohol. This is not because I think that I have a problem with alcohol. This is purely, in my opinion, like a physical thing. I think that I personally have like a little gut. I 100,000% believe that alcohol is the cause of that because I am doing what I need to do. I'm not eating crazy outside of the fast food that I was. Actually, that probably altogether. This is a lump into this altogether. It wasn't like, I think that altogether alcohol as well causes you to retain fat, and it does the opposite of building muscle, which is not my goal. So I just need to go away with that. I think it's good to take time away from that. There is another reason that I am not comfortable disclosing at this time, and no, I am not pregnant, but yeah, I don't feel comfortable right now with talking about that, but there's another reason, and I'm just done with alcohol. Also, again, the health of my wallet. Yeah. Like, have y'all looked at the price of a cocktail lately? Ridiculous. I can get 2 appetizers for that. It's just, also out talking badly about my body. The body does so many great things for you, and you are what you eat, but you also are what you think as well. Like that is definitely like what you consume in your brain is also what you are, and that's what comes out of you. And so just the talking bad about my body and not giving it enough praise for all the things that I am doing. Like, amazing that I was able to get up and walk on 2 feet this morning. Not everybody can do that. Amazing that I can go to the gym and work out. Not everyone can do that. Like, amazing that I don't have any like terminal diseases. Not everybody can say that. Like, just being grateful for where I'm at right now. And like, there are some things that my body can't do. Like, I currently at this moment cannot do the splits, but you know what? I am grateful for the opportunity to get to work to be able to do the splits. You know, like just kind of changing the framework around like how I talk about my body, that needs to change. So the talking badly about my body, that's out. Unnecessary spending. As you may have noticed, there's kind of a theme here in terms of money. Consumerism is rampant on the apps. Like, you know, everybody's an influencer now. Everybody has their curated Amazon list of, you know, Amazon essentials you need for cleaning. You know, I actually was functioning just fine before I saw those. My house was not a pigsty just because I didn't have these materials. So like, why do I need them? Like, and don't get me wrong, there are definitely some things that are helpful, that I have come to, you know, make staples in my home and everything like that. But it's not everything that I see in these reels and TikToks are necessary on Amazon. Even like the clothing items, like if I wasn't already thinking about getting it, there's no reason for me to get it. I saw somebody, a friend of mine post that. It was like, you're not really benefiting from a sale if you weren't planning on getting said thing in that sale to begin with. So for example, if you weren't looking for a couch, but you got a couch on sale, you didn't save money because you weren't looking for a couch. Like, it only works if you actually were looking for that thing to purchase. So the unnecessary spending specifically on Amazon, because I actually don't do too much unnecessary spending out and about. So yeah, like the Amazon thing, it has to stop. So I'm trying to only get essentials and whatnot, and everything like that. So that's out. Another out, ignoring feelings to check on people. I, like, oddly enough, get like these little inklings to check on people, and a lot of times that I get them, like that person ended up telling me something that, like, not necessarily like I didn't know that I should have known, but like they ended up wanting to have talked to me anyway, or wanting to disclose something to me anyway, or like happy that I reached out for whatever reason, like every single time, or news that they want to share with me every single time. So I sometimes think that like, oh, it'll be weird if I check on that person because I haven't talked to them in a while, or like they may not have my number anymore. Who cares? I think that when people cross your mind, there's a reason that they did. And I'm just not going to ignore those feelings anymore to check up on people and like, you know, show them that I actually care. Because if I didn't care about them, they probably wouldn't be in my phone anyway. But yeah, when I think about that person, I just, you know, just reach out and say something. And that's probably something that's like super specific to me, because I am like that friendly person who does stuff like that like often. People know me to be like the one who kind of keeps everyone together, always knows about everyone and like what's going on with that person. And I'm not asking for like, because I need to know or anything like that. It's just like, oh, I was actually thinking about you because I care about you and I asked and I just happen to know now. So I'm not ignoring that anymore. And like, who cares if they think it's weird? Like that's something for them to work out if they think it's weird that somebody's checking up on them. Like that has no bearings on me. And then the last thing that is out is skipping stretching and mobility work. This is something super personal to me, but when I work out, I very often do not stretch after I'm done or work on like being more mobile or anything like that. And I'm not saying that I'm like getting up there in age or anything like that, but I definitely am. I am getting up there in age, and like getting up there in age in terms of like my body does not work like it did at 16, where I could put literally anything in it and it would function for me the way that I want to. Like my body is like craving now, like, please, where are the vegetables, ma'am? Like, where's the fruit? Where's the water? Where's the tea? Please stop putting wine and fried foods in me, please. Enough. I've had enough. But then that also comes with like how my body actually functions and whatnot in the gym and everything like that. So I just want to take that to be more prioritize that a little bit more. So skipping that is out. And we are going to take a little break before we jump into what is in for 2024 for me. Okay, so I'm going to speak up a little bit. I did not realize in the first half of that how quiet I was being. But I don't know. Somebody told me that my voice is very soothing, so maybe I shouldn't be too loud. Anyway, we're back, and I'm gonna do my 2024 ends. And again, like I said, some of the stuff are like they're things that I already started doing prior to like 2023 ending and 2024 starting. So not really like resolutions, but just like more of a, a commitment to keep these things going. Anyway, so my first end is starting my day with God's word and prayer. This has been, instrumental in my mindset. I think I touched on the last podcast about growing in my faith and everything like that, and how that has, really become a cornerstone of my development as a woman. Maybe I haven't talked about it. Maybe I'll make a whole little episode on that. But anyway, starting my day with the Word of God, reading the Bible and praying, expressing my gratitude for things that I don't deserve. It is a privilege every single morning to wake up. I can see, I can hear, I can taste, I can walk. I have a job. I live in a house. Like, there's so many things to be grateful for, and just starting off the day like that, and instead of all the things that I don't currently have, like, instrumental. And also prayer, just that grounds me so much. And I often, as I've been praying and like being more comfortable with prayer, I find that I actually pray about a lot. I pray about a lot more other people than I do myself. I think that when I was younger, when I was taught to pray, it was like always me asking for stuff for myself. But now, like, I'll get to kind of rambling, and I'm praying on, like, I have a friend who is struggling to conceive. Like, I'm praying about her. I have a friend who just recently had a baby, praying about her and her health and her child's health. Like, I'll be going rambling, and before I know it, I've actually been like kneeling on the ground for like 10 minutes, just praying about everyone who just happens to pop into my mind, and everything like that. And it just, I don't know, it feels good, and I think it just grounds me more into the faith and encourages me more to grow in my faith. So that's definitely something that is for sure in. Visiting my family more frequently. I think that I have kind of, when I did live in Austin, it was kind of like, okay, well, not that I can't see my family, but it was more difficult for me to see my family because of the travel. I go visit for a weekend, and I really only have like Friday night, Saturday, and, Sunday morning ish to kind of see everyone who I need to see. And, sometimes I just wanted to go to Houston and like chill. But now that I live here and I'm realizing like how close I am to most of my family, I'm like, there is absolutely no reason for me not to be spending time with them at this point. And I actually realized my cousin on my mom's side and my grandpa on my dad's side actually live like 11 minutes apart from each other. So it's just easy to kind of like knock it out. That grandfather on my dad's side lives near one of my aunts on my mom's side, like maybe 3 minutes away. So I just get to knock everybody out, and like actually going to events and stuff now. Like, people actually of my family know that they can invite me because I'm going to show up because I live in the area, and it's nothing for me to drive there, rather than me coming, all the way from Austin to go to this event. It's like less likely that that's going to happen. But yeah, just visiting with my family more, not us even doing anything, like literally just hanging, like, just hanging. And it's funny too, like, especially hanging with my cousins, because we did grow up together, but we grew up very, different. Like, we were raised in pretty different households, but like now as adults, we've been able to hang out together, like without our parents. And not that we can't, do what we do with our parents, but like everybody's different around their parents. Like, it's just some things that you're not going to say, you're not going to do in front of your parents. But like when you're with like other people, like your peers, there's like a looser feel per se. And so anyway, so that's been really nice to like get to know my cousins on like a different level. I feel like more of them, honestly. And I think it's funny because we all kind of had notions about each other based on like what we saw from our parents. And now that we are like hanging as adults, it's like, oh, we're actually a lot more alike than we thought. Like, okay, you're actually not like this stuck up brat that I thought that you were. I'm sure my cousins have said that about me. And with them, I'm like, oh, you actually don't hate me. Like, 'cause I used to think, I was like, oh my goodness, like they don't want to hang out with me, like whatever. Anyway, so that's been super nice. And so I definitely want more of that in 2024. Saying yes to quality time with loved ones. And this, I think, less has to do with my family, because I pretty much like always say yes to them. But when I say loved ones, I also mean my friends. I'm realizing that sometimes, like actually most of the time, people just want to spend time with you. And that's it. Like, I will think like, okay, well, I'm not drinking, so like maybe I shouldn't go out with them. And it's like, that's not really why they want you there. And like, nobody actually cares. Like, they just want you to be there. And I realized in 2023, when I would say no to things, and then like afterwards I'd be like, okay, they look like they're having a good time. It's like they didn't really need me there anyway. And then I would see them again, like after, an event that I didn't go to, or like a little get together that I didn't go to. And they'd be like, yeah, we had so much fun, but Brie, like, we really wish that you were there. Like, and unwarranted, like they didn't have to say that. I didn't ask how it was. I didn't ask if they missed me or anything like that. They just like, man, like, and they'll tell me like, even when we were there, we kept saying like, man, we're having a good time. Like, it would be even better if Brie was here. Like, and that's when I realized like, okay, just show up, Brie. Like, that's all you have to do. Just show up. So saying yes a little bit more. I think I've gotten a little too comfortable with saying no, quite frankly. And then also saying yes to a night routine with a bedtime. This goes into some of the things that I said were out for me, but the inconsistency with going to sleep, like I do not function well when I haven't had enough hours of sleep. And this isn't like, oh, I need 9 hours of sleep and I need to go to bed at 9 p.m. Just know a consistent bedtime where I actually get, I would say, a good 7 hours of sleep is like prime time. And this just goes with the health and everything like that. And like, I just feel better, and if I feel better, I can be a better, sister, fiance, daughter, like amazing. Like, I can just be a better me if I'm feeling good. So a lot of these are just kind of like ways to pour back into myself. The grind don't stop, and working late and staying up late and all of that to try to get everything together. It actually does more damage than it does good for me personally. So early mornings, this kind of goes hand in hand with having a consistent night routine. But as my friend said, getting up before the world is up and like getting stuff done, top five feeling to just get up and just be active. I've actually transitioned to working out in the morning a little bit, or I've been trying to transition to working out in the morning, and it's amazing because it's like, for me, going to the gym is literally the hardest thing of the day. Like, it is physically, mentally taxing for me, and it is the hardest thing of the day. If I can wake up and get that out of the day, the rest of the day is going to be a breeze. So the early mornings, amazing. And also I have a morning routine, so that kind of, just goes together and just gets me flowing. And like, again, knocking out the workout for the day, like, and I'm much more inclined to skip a workout if I've had a very hard day at work. But if I've already worked out and then I have a hard day at work, I'm chilling. Like, I would much prefer that, because I do prioritize working out a little bit more than my job, because that's something for me. That's not something for the corporation, like, me working is for me because I'm getting paid, but like, it doesn't fill me up in the same way that working out does. Another thing that's in hosting at our home, like, we have a house now, and like, we didn't get this so that we could just be sitting up here looking at each other in the four walls all the time. Although that is nice, but I definitely want to host more. We have the space to do it. And I really enjoy hosting. And another thing I have found, that I really enjoy is cooking for other people. I do really like cooking for other people. My neighbor, like probably a few weeks ago, I had heard from another neighbor that he got sick, Like he's like, oh yeah, he had a fever or whatever, and I was like, oh no, like my neighbors are a little bit older, so I was like, oh my goodness, like I hope he's okay. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like what my mom does when I'm sick is that she makes me homemade chicken noodle soup. I'm gonna make homemade chicken noodle soup and I'm gonna bring it over there. So I made homemade chicken noodle soup, brought it over. They were like, oh my God, I love it. The wife comes back and she was just like, that was really good and you're going to need to share the recipe with me. And I was just like, that makes me feel so good that I was able to like extend a little bit of love through food. And then I had a friend come over the other day and I was like telling her an idea about baking or something. And she was like, bro, can you bake? And I was like, yeah. Like, and I was like, you know what? I got one more can of pumpkin from the fall season left in there. I'm going to whip up something real quick. And I wanted to try, another technique, and like I'd done it before, but I kind of messed it up a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll just try it again and do the way I, thought I needed to do it the first time, whatever. So I make her this. She was like, bro, this is so good. I want to take some home to my parents. Like, can I do? I was like, please take it home. Like, I do not like to have sweets in the house because I run amok with them. So I was like, I gladly share this with your family. And she was like, oh yeah. Then my friend who recently had a baby, like, it's been a couple of times that I've been with her and she's mentioned something about pumpkin bread, and like that's kind of my specialty right now. So I was like, I'm gonna make you some pumpkin bread muffins. And so I made them and brought them to her and she loved them. So I was like, I really like that. Hosting also would give me an opportunity to do more of that. So I'm like, yeah, definitely want to do some more of that. I feel like I'm getting into things that like excite me and everything, because I can feel myself starting to talk faster and louder. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit again. But hosting is definitely something I want to do. I just really enjoy that. A cleaning routine. Like, I have a tendency to just kind of like let things get to a place where it's just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And then I go on like this frenzy where I'm cleaning for like 6 hours straight or something. That is not necessary, because I do actually have the time to clean like on a day-to-day basis, and not like okay, I gotta massively mop this whole floor and do all it's none of that. But just like doing little things to like help keep like a clean, like, and not just like spotless of like, oh, there's dust here, that has to be wiped up immediately, but just like keeping a flow, that will go a long way. So I kind of want to get to a place where I'm like, okay, this is what I do on Tuesday. And like, not even like it's written out or anything, but just like as I see things, just, making sure that I have a routine to kind of keep things orderly. I think your house is like the biggest reflection of what your brain is like. And also it like keeps you functioning in that. So like when I feel like things are a mess, 9 times out of 10, my house is also a mess, because my brain is also a mess. So just to like, get that together, and also decluttering. I definitely have been like kind of throwing things away or giving things away. Like if it's something I haven't touched, like, why do I have this? Like, throw it away, throw it out. The hoarding, I don't even want to get into it. Journaling. I have a tendency, or I've had a tendency in the past, to only journal when things are not going well, to like get my angry thoughts out. But I have so many other things that I could write about, and I actually enjoy writing. And I like looking back on it. I have a journal I actually started 7 years ago. I started writing in it on January 1st of 2017. And some of the things that I was talking about then are like, man, it's so funny. I wish I could go back to her then and tell her like what's going on. Just funny story. That year, January, I was actually talking about how I didn't know, he wasn't my fiance at the time. We actually weren't dating at the time. I was like, oh, I don't know how he feels. Like, we seem serious, but like, I'm not really sure. And like, who would have thunk we're gonna get married? Like, but I knew then, like, you can tell in the way that I'm writing that I knew then, like, there's something different about this guy. Like, I don't know. But I enjoy that with the journaling of just like, I have documented like how I felt about this situation, and just, it's just nice to see like the growth, or like how I've changed, or honestly, sometimes how much I've stayed the same. That's refreshing in some facets as well. My next in is podcast consistency, which you can see now. We're back. We are back. I mean, it's kind of, it is a little inconsistent, because honestly, I should have had this out a couple hours ago, if we're being honest. But anyway, we're here, we're trying, and we're doing it. There's been some topics that I'm ready to talk about, but I'm not necessarily ready for other people to listen to them. But I just have to, it's whatever. I have to keep moving with that. Like, it's something I enjoy. I can't be concerned about what people are going to say about it. I think the right crowd will gravitate towards it, if it's for them. So I don't need to be concerned about that. I just need to continue to put out what my heart wants to put out. I actually heard on a podcast the other day is like, podcasting is so new, but it is still also an art form, similar to rapping or singing. And like, obviously I think it's going to be a while before people start to view it that way as well. But it is, it is an art form. There's a reason that some podcasts are successful and some are not. So yeah, anyway, similar to other art forms. And then my last in is adhering to my budget. I definitely have made a budget, and I did say that I'm going to do an episode on, financials and budget and everything like that. And just like what I've done that works for me, mistakes that I've made and all of that. Cause I do think that that's something that people don't talk about a lot. And like, there's a lot of shame associated with it. Like of just shame, like, oh, you don't, like, you're broke. Like there's just we got to dismantle that a little bit, but adhering to my budget has to be in. Like, there's no reason, like, as I said, with the fast food, the delivery, the Amazon shopping, like those 3 categories of things, unacceptable for me. And so, but I've set a budget already. Like, I've done that already. So I just need to adhere to it. But those are my 2024 ins and outs. I have really enjoyed that. And yeah, I am gonna wrap it up here. One thing I will say, I guess, graceful growth announcements right now. I'm going to try to be a little bit more active on Instagram. I don't know. It's difficult for me to know what a podcast Instagram is supposed to post about or anything like that. But anyway, we're going to try it, work it out, see what happens. Please actually interact. I'll try to be more consistent there. I'm not making any promises, but I'll definitely try to be more consistent there to kind of, I think engage and also kind of helps me create actual content for the podcast. Because another thing I wanted to know from you guys, which I didn't ask before putting this out, was what y'all's ins and outs were. So by the time you see this, I will have posted on Instagram for you guys to tell me what your ins and outs are for 2024. And I'll of course share them and whatnot, and just see where we are, see what the crowd is saying. But anyway, if you are not following the Graceful Growth Podcast, if you would please do that. I will be more active on there. That's an end for 2024 for the Graceful Growth Podcast. We're going to be a little bit more active on Instagram. But other than that, I will see you guys next time.